Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Shakira, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a cute little tote bag. I'm also going to be showing how to use this fabric paint. It says if you're going to use this, you need to wash your fabric and have it dry before you use it. And also after we finish painting our design, printing our design onto the fabric, we're going to then iron over that. So anyways, let's get into making this adorable tote bag. The audio might be bad in my video, and the light, definitely the light. It's very gloomy outside and it's raining. Woo! So before I started my design, I just roughly sketched out in pencil where I wanted everything to go. And this is roughly what it looked like when it was finished, when I was finished with the sketch. Starting off with the fabric paint, I just grabbed the colors that I wanted, which was the two various aquas. One was aqua, one was turquoise. I grabbed a yellow and a black, and then I started doing my design. I have a cup of water, and this allows you to make sure the paint you're using isn't as thick. It thins the paint a bit, because if you add too much paint, by the end of your design it will crack when we're ironing over that, and you don't want that because it will ruin your design. I also went over it a few times because sometimes with adding the water it does take a bit of the vibrancy out of the paint, so I tried taking a lot of water off my paintbrush before I dipped it into the paint as well. And then I just went over it. The flowers on my design weren't entirely planned. I actually got some paint on my hand and it kind of stamped into the shape of that. But like, bees like flowers, so it added a bit more of design and detail to my tote bag. Now we need to iron over this. It ensures that the paint locks into the fabric and stabilizes your design. On the back of the packet it says to do this for 3 to 5 minutes, so ensure that you do that if you're using this fabric paint. So I used a piece of fabric that measured 50 centimeters by 36 centimeters. If you need, this will make a small tote bag, but if you would like to have a bigger tote bag, I'd recommend using this, but with 2 separate pieces of fabric. Now starting off, we're going to lay either our 2 pieces of fabric together or fold our piece of fabric in half, and then we're going to measure in the bottom corners small squares of 2 inches and mark this out. This will then become the base of our bag. So here I just took my measuring ruler, my measuring tape, and then I just measured the 2 inches all the way from the bottom of my corner to the side, and I marked this out in pencil so then I can cut that later on and that I know that the measurements are correct. I repeated this for both corners of my bag, and then once I finished that, I began to cut out these small squares. And once we finish cutting out those little corner squares, we're gonna then sew the sides if you've just folded your fabric in half. And if you're using 2 pieces of fabric, you'll need to sew the bottom as well. Now taking some pins, I just pinned up these sides and now they're ready to get sewed. I took some thread that matched my fabric paint, the aqua fabric paint. I had a thread that matched this, and I took this and threaded my sewing machine with this to add more detail to my cream tote bag. Then I sewed these in a straight line, ensuring that I locked it in to reinforce my stitch. Once I'd sewed my sides all together, I then rotated my handbag, my tote bag, and I squished the bottom two edges that we cut to make our square, and I squashed them together, and you sew along there, and that then becomes the base of your bag. So you flatten the sides together nicely so it joins up with your side seam, and this will create a straight seam that you can then sew for the base of your bag. Once you finish that, you can then sew along that in a straight line. I went over this a few times because this is the base of your bag and it needs to have lots of strength. After you've sewed that, the base of your bag is now complete. Now you can turn your bag inside out the right way, and then we can begin on our straps. So I took 2 long pieces for my strap that measured 54 centimeters by 4 centimeters, and I folded them in half and then half again, pinning that into place to create my straps. I did this all the way down my strap, and that is how I made my strap. You'll need to repeat this for both of your straps. Pinning this all the way down, it ensures that you keep your straps in place because sometimes they can be a bit harder to sew evenly. And once you've pinned both of your straps, you can then sew that in a straight line, ensuring that you lock in both of the ends of your strap. To find out where my straps would go, I measured 2 inches from the seams on each side and pinned a strap in place from there. If you are not using a fabric that's like canvas or leather like I am, then you will need to make sure that before you've done this, you lock in all of your edges with a zigzag stitch or an overlocker. Once you have finished pinning these into place where you would like them to go, you can head over to your sewing machine and lock these into place with a stitch. I went over mine a few times. This ensures that my straps have enough strength and to ensure that they will not break. And here is my epic fail of trying to cut off my loose threads. My scissors got tangled up in all of my threads somehow. I have no idea how that happened. But anyways, once you can solve that issue, you can then proceed to cut off all of your loose threads. Now we're just gonna hem the top of our tote bag. I did this by folding it in once and then folding my bag strap up. Again, this ensures that my strap also has another added bit of strength to my tote. And once you have folded this over once, you can then begin to pin it into place. Once you've finished pinning it all, we're just going to do a straight stitch all around the front of our hem. While you're unpinning that where your straps are, make sure that you hold them into place while you sew over it. And once you have finished sewing all around that hem, your tote bag will then be complete. And if you haven't already finished trimming off those loose threads, proceed to do that, and then that's the end of how to make this adorable tote bag. This is the final look of the tote bag. As you can see, the detail of having a contrasting thread also adds to the element of the design. It also adds like a little bit of detail to this plain cream canvas. That comes to the conclusion of this video. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you, and until next time, bye!